Hey guys, this is Verneer for CardRunners.com. So today we are going to do a couple things. One, I'm going to talk about what to open from middle position, and I'll give lots of examples of small pocket pairs and medium pocket pairs, how I played different situations. So first of all, what to open from middle position. ABC opening range, the green stuff I'm opening almost always from middle position. The orange stuff is situation dependent. So once again, you want to adjust based on how aggressive are the middle position cutoff and buttons. If they're very aggressive, then you want to open a tighter range. If you have fish in the blinds, then you want to open a wider range. I would say it kind of gives you a range of ranges. King 10 open, definitely King 10 offset, I should say, definitely marginal open from middle position. But if you have bad players in the blinds, it becomes a pretty good one. So I'm gonna go over small pocket pairs and medium pocket pairs. But before I do that, I want to show you guys the graph for. So here's my graph for small pocket pairs from middle position. As you can see, a lot of it is just kind of ebb and flow, and I hit the occasional set, and that's when I end up getting paid. So that's pretty much what small pocket pairs are good for, is hitting sets and extracting value. With the occasional bluff, so my red line's fairly break even just because I'm, raising and c-betting the occasional flop. Now, the medium pocket pairs, before I go into the examples. Much smaller sample size, but these should be winning at a much higher rate. So I am winning at a higher win rate. It's smaller sample size, so it's not as evident. Looks like I was break even for quite a while, which makes me think that I misplayed quite a few hands, and I guess I'll go into that. But that kind of gives you some perspective on how these hands play from the different positions. So let's get to the examples. Now, I'm going to, as we have before, look at different kind of hand groups. And I'll start with small pocket pairs because I think they're the easiest to play. The two key things to keep in mind here is to focus on extracting value when you actually hit. The problem is the hands are very hit or miss. So if you miss, you're mostly done, unless you can take a cheap stab at a ace high flop with rag. But your main thing is just extracting value for when you hit. There's going to be a couple bluffs that I'll include in these hands. I picked out 16 hands. But for the most part, I'll just talk about extracting value. All right, so pocket sevens, multi-way flop. I flop the world. I think this is an okay spot to. I think slow playing here is perfectly fine, but against three other people betting a third of the pot, just to get some action, I think is reasonable too. The turn is a 4, which is great because now I have an overboat. And I think checking here is the right play. Let them either catch up, or in this case, they end up betting. What do you bet? I check raised just because I think it's going to be seen as kind of a fishy play. And I'm just putting him on tens or jacks here, and I don't think he's going to fold a full house. It's like the Zebo theorem where I have quads. I don't really have quads, but I've got an overboat. And he ends up calling, and the river is great. And I just end up shipping it in, and he ends up calling me with pocket nines. So a guy with pretty reasonable stats. Just my line, I guess, was pretty fishy on the turn, and he decided to get curious.